So about how old when you moved out of the small pond into the big pond?
I was in 8th grade.
Yeah, eighth grade. And the big pond is what, Cincinnati with your dad, or
Yeah, it was northern Cincinnati.
you were in
It's a
Cincinnati?
district. It's Lakota district.
Yeah, okay, right
So
on,
kind of in between Hamilton, Dayton, and Cincinnati.
right on. And how long were you there?
I was there, so I moved back halfway through my junior year.
Halfway through your junior year. So major teen angst years. So that's a lot of character definition years in that big city. And then it's compared to here, of course, people
Yeah.
having lived in like Detroit, that area is
All right.
decent. But of course, I lived in a much bigger area at
Yeah.
one point in time. But
Okay.
so do you feel so like for your teenager, like that's where like, obviously we go through a lot of emotional development in those years that you're talking about right there.
Yeah.
And so you lived with your dad primarily in that time. Is that right?
Yep. When I was in Cincinnati, yeah.
Yeah.
So for I don't know what is it, 4 years.
Mm-hmm. And so when you're midway through your junior year, you moved back into this area,
I did.
right? And is that you lived with your mom again at
I
that
did.
point in time?
Yeah. Different school district, but same
Right.
house. Yeah.
Okay. And so going from switching kind of like in that mid junior year, as you're kind of figuring out not only like you're coming out the other side of all the hormonal and growth adjustments and everything like that, coming back here, that's a big societal change, right? Coming from that to
Indeed.
here. So, I mean, what was that? What do you remember most? I'd say about like coming back from that area to here. A junior in mid year junior in high school. There's a lot of high school stuff going on. Of course, family dynamics. Going from dad back to mom, I'm sure was a change as well. But what do you remember most from that period and finishing out kind of high school?
What I most remember.
Yeah,
It probably made me a loner, but
yeah.
I'm okay with that now. The thing I most remember, to be honest, was this is weird to remember for whatever reason. I had Latin up there,
Okay.
and the only reason I took Latin is because you didn't have to speak it. So it was like French, Latin, Spanish, or something else like German or something up there.
Mm-hmm.
But you had to speak all three of the other ones. I was like, dude, I could just not speak it, and I'll just take Latin, whatever.
Right.
And it's they said it's the root of. I wrote it off as like it's the root of all of them. It's fine.
Right.
But
Okay.
deep down, I was like, I don't have to speak this. This is gonna be way easier.
Right.
So I took Latin up there, but I never finished. You had to take 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So to move back, I only had a year and a half. And of course, where I moved back to, they didn't offer Latin, and it was like you have to have 2 years to graduate. And it was like, uh-oh. And so the person who taught French there, where I moved back to, had taught Latin before, but it was like 8 to 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so she still had all the curriculum and stuff. And so she offered her personal time, like her planning period time, to teach me Latin by myself so that I could graduate on time and not have to like take an extra semester thing
Nice.
through the summer or whatever. So I've like that was a vivid memory of like thank you so much. Her name is Mrs. Weinfertner. I'll never forget her.
Giving her a shout out on
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you for allowing me to graduate on time.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. So that was really cool. But I do remember being alone a lot. It's like, so I moved up there, didn't know anybody. By 8th grade, everybody's hanging out with who they're going to hang out with, basically. Then I moved back, didn't know anybody.
Right.
And then it was just like, oh, well, I only got 1 year left after this, so like, what's the point? You know what I mean? It's just like, I didn't even make an effort. I wouldn't even go to lunch to make an effort. I'm just like, it was like lunch or library. And I was like, nah, I'm going to the library. I'll read something or, whatever.